movie called Out of Darkness hits theaters on February 9th, and it's set, I believe, 45,000 years ago. And it centers on these group of nomads, and they are lost. They are on a distant land that they don't know anything about. They've escaped their own homeland due to some tragedy, and they're now in a new area, and they're trying to forage for fruits, vegetables, meat, whatever they can get. Unfortunately, the land is seemingly barren, but it's really not. The land is not barren. There are other elements involved in the land, and these people, this group, this tight-knit group, are trying their best to survive on the day to day. So it's essentially, if you've seen movies like Quest for Fire, I've not seen Quest for Fire, but if you've seen these, any kind of caveman, cavewoman survivalist movies, you might know what you're getting with Out of Darkness. Also, this movie, it's in subtitles with a made up language called, I believe, Eric, help me, Tolo? I think Tolo or something. Or
Tola.
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 Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much, Eric. It's a made up language called Tola. It is directed by Andrew Cumming. One of his all time favorite films is, I believe, Alien. He mentioned Alien, and there's a lot of precision in the directing. It's visually immersive. I really loved all the performances. Let me also say this person, Safia Oakley Safia Oakley-Green. She plays Bea, one of the outliers in the clan. She's one of the outsiders of the clan, and she has the most full and fully developed character arc in the movie. For her performance in Out of Darkness, she received a British Independent Breakthrough Award back in late 2022. When the movie was called, I believe, The Origin, the reason why this movie is not called Origin is because of the Ava DuVernay film Origin, which is now out in theaters. So hence the title, the new title, Out of Darkness. So yes, Safia Oakley-Green, she's fantastic in the movie, as well as the other Kit Young. He plays one of the second in command warrior who is he's a little bit indecisive about how to lead this clan, and he has a lot of questions. And it's a very well paced and tightly wound thriller, survivalist thriller as well. That is my thoughts on Out of Darkness. I'm going to start coughing like a maniac. Eric, why don't you take over?
Yeah, I really like this one a lot. It's very similar to Der Mann aus dem Eis. I think Der Mann aus dem Eis is better, but this one still kind of tickled the same kind of buttons that Der Mann aus dem Eis did. Basically got a group of people like you said, they're going to walking through area, and there's something in the woods kind of chasing them down. Um I don't know how much of that we want. Well, I guess it's in the stuff, so it's fine. But yeah, there's a thing chasing them down, kind of similar to Prey. Um Now I did finally get around to watching Prey. I did like this a lot more than Prey, but it's kind of similar to that. Um it has a lot of atmosphere to it. And oddly enough, like because they're out in the wilderness, it looks empty. If you think of like the beginning of Prometheus, where it's got the engineer on Earth, like before anyone's there, just looks empty, or like maybe like towards the beginning of Eternals, where they're in early Earth, it just looks empty and kind of creepy. Um, the I guess one kind of knock I do have on this is that the characters look like they just stepped out of a shower, which doesn't really kind of help with the look of the film. But other than that, I thought it was kind of creepy and liked where it went at the end. And then there was another sort of there's another thing going on at the end that I won't get into, but I really liked where they went there as well. But I kind of want to hear what Bruce has to say so I can say, no, you're wrong. But
Well, yeah, I'm not as high on this movie. I have a few problems. I definitely right off the bat the how clean and kind of clean cut they were kind of threw me out a little bit, but I was willing to go with that. And the atmosphere, the landscape, all of that is suitably rustic and bleak and foreboding and dangerous. I mean, as a survival landscape, it's not a great place. One of the biggest problems I had was overall the plot to me was kind of generic slashery in a lot of ways. And what I mean by that is we're set up very quickly to know that these characters they've been surviving in a super harsh environment for a while. And in fact, early on, we have a storytelling moment around a campfire. And the story they're telling is basically their own story, which is how they had to come across the sea, however long that sea is for them. I mean, you don't know how far. It might have been a channel, but they had to go through a lot of arduous things to get to where they are now, and they're still trying to survive. And one of my things about watching this movie is to live in that environment in those days with the very limited resources you have, you probably have to be very cautious and pretty smart about how you do things. And they do really dumb things in this movie. I mean, there's a moment where, well, first of all, they're going to avoid the forest. Okay, that makes sense. Let's avoid the forest and go around it because the forest is dark, full of possible animals, could be very dangerous. Let's not just go charging through this forest we don't know. Well, then later they go into the forest and they not only go into it, they run headlong through it and start throwing their clothes off, the clothes that are probably keeping them warm. A forest they don't know. Later on, once again, I'm not really giving out spoilers. Once later, this creature or whatever is out there that's threatening them at night. Sure, we're in a forest we don't know, with facing a creature or something we don't know. Let's go run after it in the middle of the dark, in the night. We don't know what we're going to deal with, but let's just do that. I didn't believe that they would do that. Even if I did believe they would do it, I was annoyed by the kind of jump scary stuff that happened. And also kind of the repetitive nature of it. It was like walking, fire, walking, fire, walking, fire. And then the worst part for me was the ending. The reveal didn't do much for me. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely was a letdown. And the reveal, the final thing, absolutely, as a concept, I understood it and I respected it. But in the reality of what we were shown, I did not believe it. We are told that things are happening for a reason at the end. I'm just going to leave it kind of vague. We're told that things were happening at the end for a reason to recontextualize stuff that happened earlier. But if you saw what actually happened earlier, that makes no sense for what we actually saw. So I think the big problem with this is the script. I think they spent so much time on the setting and the language and all this stuff that the script was just did not work. It needed at least 2 more passes to make sense.
Okay, so the reason why I went to the forest, in my opinion, is because when you are in the middle of potential trauma, you're going to do stupid things. I mean, there's something that happens to their clan that they really need. Logic says that they should not go into the forest, but they are trying to find someone. And
but why were they throwing off their clothes?
Okay, throwing off the clothes, I don't know about that.
The thing that's keeping you alive in a harsh environment. You would not do that.
Okay, that I'll give you points for that one. But the rest of the movie for me was tensely mounted. The third act, where you see this ultimate confrontation, I was on pins and needles. This is a worthwhile watch for me for a second time. I think it's a great debut from Andrew Cumming. I love pretty much almost everything about it. It's a near perfect film. Yes, Eric Holmes.
I was just going to point out they went after the thing because like let's be the hunters, not the hunted. And there was a particular time where like, God,
all I gotta say, let's just say this: a basic concept of anyone surviving in the wild is fire is life. Yes. And if you're at night and you're being stalked by something, you would not leave your fire. The only position of strength you have at night against an unknown foe of unknown strength is to stay with the group with the fire. You would not leave that.
I get that, but there was also the bit where
I know it's gonna be hard to talk about.
This is very hard to talk around. Well, look, but someone got a little too hot because a thing happened, and when that happens, you kind of you don't always do what
That's
you
what
should.
I just said. That's what I just said. There's irrational things happen when you're in the moment of trauma. You have to act in. But then, like you said, I'll give you points on the clothes on it.
And I guess what I want to ask Bruce though is because I saw this and then I saw Prey like not long ago. Like what? Like to me, these two movies are almost identical. So why is Prey the good one and this one's the bad one?
Well, Prey to me is far superior for these reasons. To me, not to my taste. One is you have a main character who, first of all, quickly learns the situation they're in, even though they don't know the exact nature of the predator. They see it, they realize they're in a danger, and they realize that it's going to be a very difficult danger to attack and fight. So the whole movie is about how does this character, who we're shown uses their wits and their hunting skills, even though they're learning them somewhat, they're still somewhat adept, uses those to slowly beat the predator, right? This movie, I didn't see any strategizing really at all. In fact, I didn't see really any characters either. I think the characters were more like traits than characters. So to kind of explain their behaviors, like this one is the hot-headed one, this one's the old wise one, this one's the outcast, this one's the kid. You know what I mean? Like, so when they did things, it was, to me, it was that thing where you do things to make the plot happen, as opposed to the situation happens and the character reacts as a character. And I thought the character was much more of a fully fleshed character in Prey, which was, granted, a much more of a straight ahead action movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But I
weird.
thought as an action
Yeah.
movie, it was elevated. And this one, as a slow burn survival slash maybe character, creature, whatever movie, it was de-elevated to me.
Yeah. I'm on the flip side. I thought the characters were finely well etched, well done. Every single one of the characters you knew were really well developed, including Safia Oakley-Green. I thought Bea was just a very memorable character. So you and
Well,
I are completely, which is good because that's difference is I like
yeah.
different takes. Eric, what do you say?
Oh, I was going to
My
say,
thoughts.
I guess one of the big differences between this and Prey is, as you mentioned, in Prey, they do, they see the predator. And this one, they have,
Uh,
like, they see the
uh,
aftermath of things, but they
right.
don't,
Yeah. What?
what's that?
Oh, you not good. What about the predator here?
Oh, and the
The prey?
predator, or yeah, they see the predator, they know what they're dealing with, just as Bruce said. In this one, they see things, they see aftermath,
Right.
they see droppings, they know it's something, but they don't know quite, they don't know quite what the how
The threat
bad it
is,
is.
yeah, they don't
Yeah,
know what they're dealing with. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So like to them it could be like, man, this tiger's really hungry. So let's run in like it could be just as something as simple as let's run in the forest and kill that tiger, and then come to
Mm-hmm.
find out, maybe not, maybe a little more. It's
All right,
like,
Out of Darkness, 87 minutes. It's running hour and 27 minutes, 87 minutes, Friday, February 9th. Final thoughts, Bruce, and your rating.
Mine is just that it's for me, it's a ton of great opportunities not realized. So I give it 2.5. I mean, great production, looks beautiful, sounds great, with the story that it's lacking.
Great production, great visuals, great acting, solid script, excellent execution in the third act. 91% currently on Rotten Tomatoes with 35 reviews. My rating's an easy 4.5 stars. Eric,
35 reviews. Wait till it has 100 reviews.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll
and
see.
then they'll
Bruce.
go higher.
It'll go
I
high.
expect I we'll see if I'm right. I expect the audience reaction to be much lower than the critic reaction on this one.
Oh, very good, Bruce. We'll see. We'll see.
I could
Eric,
actually see it. I could
But then
probably
again,
see that.
everything I've seen so far has been mostly positive, so I could be totally on the opposite side of this one, but I just don't get it. I personally don't get it. But you guys don't get what I
Yeah.
don't get. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so Eric, your rating.
I'm 4 stars on this one. I kind of like, had I not seen this is kind of like this is kind of similar to the Gran Turismo thing. Like Gran Turismo is not a bad movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. But I've seen Ford v Ferrari. Like this one, I like Out of Darkness a lot, but I'd seen Der Man aus dem Eis. But then Der Man aus dem Eis doesn't have the thing in the woods. So that I think that's kind of the value added that Der Man aus dem Eis doesn't have. And I do like this one better than Prey. But
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that that's going to be a popular opinion, but would be interesting to
People
see.
love Prey, dude.
Yeah,
But
I love Prey.
also keep in mind, I'm the guy that watched the Into the Spider-Verse movies. I'm like, I mean, they're fine.
You're just like, I don't get it, man.
Okay, so that's 4 stars for Eric, 4.5 for me, 2.5 for Bruce. Perky for this very, very interesting movie, Out of Darkness. Let us know if you are in Bruce Perky's camp and you don't find it that you kind of it didn't live up to your expectations. See it in theaters February 9th.